Hey everybody, welcome back to Gonzo History Gaming. I'm James Holloway. It's been a little while since I posted one of these, but I had a new product that I just got that came from Kickstarter that I backed a little while ago. And I wanted to talk about it in a way where I could show it to you and sort of show you it in action. And I'm talking about the Dungeon Desk Pad from Squarehex, which is also the company that makes Oubliette magazine. If you've ever read that, kind of a little OSR mini zine that is now coming back after a long hiatus, and makes all kinds of other dungeon stationery. Now, I first ran into their products at UK Games Expo last year, and I was really immediately kind of won over. You know, they combine my love of stationery with my love of gaming, so obviously it was a pretty good combination for me. So when I saw that they had this Kickstarter, and, you know, for once I had some spare funds, I decided to back it. And I backed at a quite low level. I got 2 of these Dungeon Desk Pads, and I just want to show you what they are. Now, the printing on them it won't show up at sort of this distance. So let me just, I guess you can kind of see it a bit. But so this is the pad. It is an A3 pad. So that means that basically it's the size of 2 normal pieces of notebook paper side by side. And as you can see, it's divided into sort of 4 major areas. Well, 5. So at the top you've got this header. In the middle you've got a big square of graph paper. On either side you've got columns, lined columns, and then there are 3 smaller lined boxes down at the bottom. And so basically, you know, you put your dungeon map or whatever in this area here, and then all the notes that you might have, say your room key, or, you know, down here might be stats for characters that are in it, or the whatever loot that might be found, details of traps or other features. There's also another neat aspect to it, which is right up here is a little 4x6 grid. So if you're putting together a mega dungeon, you know, a much larger complex, you can use this to indicate where all the different maps here fit together, right? So theoretically you could show up to 24 of these sheets and how they combine together into a single larger whole. And it also comes with some of these sheets of stickers, which you would stick over part of these columns. And there you see there's a hex grid, so if you wanted to indicate what hex of your map this dungeon was in, there's a blown up hex grid. You know, say maybe you wanted to have some detail about what is inside this particular hex, and then there's just a blank one in case you had a visual image, like you wanted to do a picture of the entrance or something like that, or some clue that's inside it. And then we've got these also came with it, which there's more of them, but in also this one is in a slightly different scale. So basically lots of different sticker overlays that you can use to customize part of your dungeon map and show it in relation to your world map. So it's a big pad. So 24 of these big sheets on here. So in fact, your mega dungeon could be the entire pad, right? Is theoretically 24 sheets. It tears off at the bottom, which I really like, because it means that you don't tear off the information that's at the top if you accidentally rip it when you're pulling the sheet off. So that's kind of neat. And it's really nice heavy paper. Actually, I don't know what the weight is on this, but I do know that it was upgraded, I think, more than once as stretch goals during the Kickstarter. So it's just really, it's sturdy, and it's, you know, it can take a whole bunch of scribbling and erasing and whatever, and it's not gonna tear or go through. And, you know, for me, obviously, I'm gonna tear off this dungeon map, fold it up, stick it in my campaign notebook, and take it to games back and forth. And I'm not worried that it's gonna rip or fade or whatever. So it's a nice, sturdy thing that you can just leave on your desk and use kind of as a desk blotter, and then also get your dungeon maps on it. Although I do have to resist the temptation to hold it upside down. Okay, and here, this is one that I've been doing for my Wednesday night D&D game. So as you can see, I've got my map here. I have a little subsection to show some of the lower or upper levels of the buildings. This is actually just a little building complex rather than a dungeon per se. Over here, I've got my room key listing all the things that are in the dungeon. Wandering monsters, treasure, a little diagram showing a clue that's in there, and then baddie stats, traps, and kind of like just a list of architectural features or details to remind myself of kind of how to set the scene in this dungeon. So, you know, what makes it different from other places. So as you can see, you can fit quite a lot of information onto this spread. Basically, it's like a double-page spread. And one of the big questions that that you often would have about kind of a Dungeonist guide is, you know, why isn't all of this stuff on the map? And so this just presents a really simple way to put all the information that you need on a sheet that's of, I think, manageable size. You know, this is basically going to be my whole space at the table, but I don't really need very much else. And yeah, I think this is a really useful, really versatile, and really affordable product, or at least, I mean, I assume it's going to be cheap when you can buy it. It was very inexpensive on the Kickstarter, so yeah, I like it a lot, and it combines some of my fetishes, so maybe that's just me personally, but I think if you play any kind of game in which mapping is important, you would find this to be a useful tool. Okay, so that's it. I'm not going to post this video until tomorrow, Thursday, because I don't want the chance that any of the players in my Wednesday night D&D game might see the map. But once I've done that, I'll put it up, and you guys can tell me what you think. And if you, in particular, if you have any other of these kinds of products that you'd like to see me talk about, do let me know, because I'm always up for more. I might be one of those people that's real easy to sell accessories to. Normally in my mind, I associate that with being the kind of person that collects things but doesn't play. I hope I'm not that guy. I mean, I think I do a fair amount of gaming, but somehow there's just all these little bits of paraphernalia I find hard not to acquire. So feed my habit, I guess. Tell me what you'd like to see me talk about. Easier if it's a UK-based thing. I'm here in the UK. But, you know, just let me know. All right, well, thank you for watching. I hope to be back not quite as long from now as this is from my last video, but then I said that in my last video, so I wouldn't trust me if I were you. All right, have a good day.